Sadiosi Genesis and from nursing department, and my thesis is on the effectiveness of detention, instructional intervention on knowledge of mental health and health-seeking behavior among adolescents in selected secondary school in Lagos State. Knowledge of mental health and health-seeking behavior is a critical determinant for the adolescent to know the concept, such as symptoms, and how to seek help. Globally, 97% of adolescents suffer from mental challenges, while this accounts for 10 to 20% of the percentage. While in Africa, people discriminate against adolescents for speaking out about their mental challenges. They attribute the cause of mental challenges to a force or spiritual power. This leads the adolescent to be excluded or discriminated against. This now justifies the need for me to study the effectiveness of mental health and health-seeking behavior on adolescents in Lagos State. Then I use the Mention formula to calculate my sample size because my population is large. So the Mention formula it made me to have a sizable number. 85.6 was my target, but I added 10% attrition to it, making my target population to be 93. And this was shared into the intervention group. And I have two intervention group A, intervention group B, and control group. I use social learning theory for my study, and I developed my own conceptual framework, which social learning theory is made up of attention, retention, auto reproduction, and feedback. I was able to construct my own conceptual framework of the theory where I have environmental factors, observational learning, cognitive processing, motivation, which will now lead to positive behavioral outcome. In selecting the school that carry out the intervention and control group, I use multi-stage sample technique, and this multi-stage I use both probability and non probability. That is, I use Lagos State is divided into 3 senatorial districts. We have Lagos State East Senatorial District, Lagos State Central Senatorial District, and Lagos State West Senatorial District. In Lagos State East Senatorial District, there we have 5 local governments there. Lagos State Central Senatorial also has 5 local governments. Then Lagos State East Senatorial District have 11 local governments. From each of these, all the 3 senatorial division were used, but the local governments in which the senatorial group were put into balloting. See, randomization was done, and in Lagos State East, Ekpe was chosen, and the same thing was repeated into Lagos State Central, where it tells I was picked, and in Lagos State Central, in Lagos State East Senatorial District, then Mushin was picked to select the school that will carry out the intervention and control group. All the schools in this local government were written into a balloting using simple random technique and method. I was able to pick Ekpe Senior Secondary School in Lagos State East Senatorial District. Lagos State Central, Etiosa Community Secondary School was picked, while in Mushin, Ojoduwe were picked. Then for me to now enter into the school, I had to take permission from Gugure, that's the backup university ethical consultation. I was given approval. This approval was taken to head of service in Lagos State, where I was directed to Ministry of Education to give me the approval. This approval was taken to the school, and I took this approval to show to the schools I went. I showed them the approval from the school and the approval from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Head of Service. Then I told them I use SS1, an exclusion of my studies, students that are in junior secondary school. Why I use SS1? I want to ensure, I know that SS1 is the beginning of where students form peer group. They want to form role identity, and they want to form role identification. So and the academic stress begin from SS1. That was why I used SS1, because the stress that the youth adolescent pass through start from SS1 class. So as baseline intervention was used from the instrument that I adopted from Canadian Mental Health School, which was already assessed by my supervisor and methodologies before I use it. And to show the reliability of this instrument, 10% of it was assigned at one secondary school in Ekiti State to show the reliability. And the reliability of knowledge is 0.89, while that of HEPCK was 0.96. So this same instrument was now used in my intervention group and my control group. After the intervention package was done for a period of 2 months, before I started intervention, before I assigned the questionnaire to the intervention group, they were baseline assessment was done. That is, before I teach them and so I assessed them. Then after I finished, assigned various learning package which cover mental health promotion, access, anxiety, how to manage stress, adolescents, mental health and parenting, and help-seeking behavior. These were used to teach the student for a period of 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, that's P1, the assessment was given. Then I left them for a period of 2 weeks to ensure that there's retention in what has been taught. After the 6 weeks, I now went back there again and assessed them first at 6 weeks. After where I now divided them into each intervention group. They divided into 4 groups, and they assigned a leader, a researcher, and a counselor to help them to discuss all what had been done. Assigned topics were given unto them, clarification, they discussed it to the best of their knowledge. Questions were asked, clarification was made, and mistakes were corrected. This was done to ensure that retention really take place. That is, they have not forgotten what they were taught 4 weeks ago. Then they did this thing for a period of 2 weeks, at 7 weeks, and at 8 weeks. At 8 weeks, they rounded up this peer group support discussion among themselves. Then I went back again to assess them with the same questionnaire. All the questionnaire were collated, were sorted out, and were analyzed through IPM SBS 628, and descriptive statistics were used. While ANOVA was used to check with intervention. The T-10 differences was used to check the hypothesis. It was now discovered at the baseline of both intervention. I didn't teach intervention study with the package that I used to teach the intervention study. I mean the control group. The control group were only taught how to maintain personal hygiene and how to eat a balanced diet. This was the only thing that was given to the control group. After the analysis of the result was done, it was found out that at baseline, both intervention and the control group have almost the same level of intervention. This now collaborates from the literature review that the adolescent lack knowledge of mental health, which may lead to crisis if intervention is not given promptly. Then post-intervention, it was discovered that at intervention level, the adolescent's knowledge improved significantly. Why this was not so incontrollable. This still support the study that according to Atilola, 2021, that inculcating and mental health curriculum into secondary school curriculum will help them to be able to know how to manage their stress, how to seek for help, how to make right judgment, and this will help them to be a better person in the environment. Recommendation was made to policymaker, nurse educator, professional, to the professional, and to the students. Thank you. How many minutes?
Okay.
How many